Strength isn't always about being the loudest person in the room. Sometimes the real power, it's in what you see, not what you say. And that's what we're diving into today, the silent, incredible power of an observant mind.
So, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed those people? Maybe it's even you, the ones who just seem to operate on a different frequency? They're there, but they're tuned into something else. Well, if that sounds familiar, this one's for you. And for anyone who's ever wondered what's really going on inside their head.
Okay, so let's start with what everyone sees on the outside. We can call this person the quiet observer. But trust me, what you see on the surface, that's barely scratching the surface of what's really going on.
You'll notice them because, well, they don't make a lot of noise. They speak less, and when they do, you can tell they've thought about it. They're not the ones with huge, dramatic reactions to everything. It's almost like they're this little island of calm, right in the middle of all the chaos.
And because of that quietness, people can get it so wrong. They get slapped with these labels, right? Oh, they're boring, just because they aren't fighting for the spotlight. Or they must be weak because they're not loud and aggressive. A lot of the time, they just get ignored. But here's the secret. That silence, it's not empty space. Oh no, it's a workshop. It's where they do the real work of observation. They're not checked out, they're checked in, but on a whole other level. They're seeing everything through a completely different lens.
And to really get what that lens is, you have to understand the world they're looking at. And let's be honest, our world, it loves noise. It's got this built-in bias for anyone and anything that's loud.
This creates a really interesting paradox, doesn't it? On one hand, society today seems to throw rewards at the person who shouts the loudest, the one who's always in your face. But then, you look back at history. Who are the people who really changed the game? It wasn't the loudest ones. It was the deepest thinkers, the brilliant strategists. Yeah, the quiet ones.
So what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if being quiet isn't about lacking something, but about having something extra? What's the actual advantage here? What's the power in seeing more?
I love this idea right here. Noise is outside, understanding is within. It just nails it, right? All the chaos, all the chatter, that's all external stuff. But the real good stuff, the understanding, the clarity, that's built inside, in the quiet. And when you spend your time cultivating that inner space, you start to develop some pretty wild abilities. Honestly, you could call them superpowers. These folks, they don't just hear the words you're saying, they're trying to understand you. And that lets them see right through all the static. They spot the lies, they know a fake smile when they see one, and they can hear the things you aren't saying.
And here's a big one. Because they're not just swept along with the herd, they have the clarity to stop and ask a really dangerous question. Hey, is what everyone else is doing actually right? That one question, that little pause, is what makes all the difference.
Okay, but seeing everything so clearly, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a flip side. There's a real cost to this kind of deep perception, and a lot of the time, that cost is loneliness.
How many times have they heard this one? Why are you so quiet? And it's not really a question, right? It's an accusation. It's like saying there's something wrong with you and you need to fix it.
But the answer they have inside, it's profound. It's simply because not everything needs to be said. They've realized that some thoughts are just for them. Some battles aren't worth the breath. It's a choice, a powerful one.
So this is where we have to flip the script. We've got to totally redefine what we think strength looks like. It's time to see how these things the world calls weaknesses are actually some of the greatest strengths you can have. It's wild, the difference between perception and reality. The world sees emotionally distant. The reality, they feel things incredibly deeply. They just don't put on a show for everyone. The world sees not strong. The reality, it's a quiet, solid strength that doesn't need to brag. The world sees weakness. The reality, it's the ultimate form of self-control.
And that self-control, it really shows when things get tough. Think about it. When they get knocked down, when they break, they don't make a big scene. There's no noise. They just retreat. They recover in silence. That's a different kind of resilience.
All right, let's bring this all home. This is probably the most important part of this whole thing. If any of this is hitting home for you, listen up. It's time to start embracing that difference. It is not a flaw. It's a sign.
I'm going to be blunt here. You are not normal.
And that is the best news you're going to hear all day, because normal is overrated. It's not a problem. It's a sign. A sign of what, you ask? A sign that your mind just operates at a higher level. It's processing more data, seeing more connections. That quietness people misunderstand, it's not a bug in your programming. It's a feature. It's part of a much more powerful operating system.
So, look, don't waste a single second worrying if the crowd doesn't get you right now. The crowd is always a few steps behind. They'll figure it out eventually. They'll understand. But by then, you'll be so far ahead they won't even be able to see your dust.